Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hang out this nerd.
Nerdarchy's Ted.
And in this GM 911, the players ask, can we build it? And we answer, yes we can!
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with us.
As always, this is a GM 911, so you can find the original post or a copy of the original post in the description below, as well as, hey, you got a GM 911 for us, you got a problem you need solved, you need our help, send it to us at nerdarchy@gmail.com, GM 911 in the subject line.
So the GM 901 is from Benjamin, and Benjamin says that his party is looking to create a tavern with a blacksmith, wants to hire workers, wants to build the stuff, but can't seem to find the places for find the prices for all of this stuff. Does a NPC take the same amount of time to make something as a PC? How does it work?
All right, so the easiest one we'll start with first, and that is, no matter who's doing the work, it takes the same amount of time unless there's some mitigating circumstances, but that would be probably specific to the individual per se, not the rule in general. So it's the same amount of time. Now, this is great, especially because the adventuring party that he's discussing is strapped for cash right now. They don't have the money to do it, but so now they're motivated to do a thing, and they have a goal and objective they want to do. And there's other things you could do too that might be fun at your table, maybe not so much at other tables, but you never know what people are going to enjoy. Like Doug always talks about his Spelljammer game where they've got a ship, and it seems like his players really enjoy spending time shopping and outfitting new rooms on the ship, new cabins on the ship, and they love hiring people and going through the hiring process. And when they do hire them, they're like, oh, we need to put them in a cabin. The cabin is going to need to be supplied, and then they go on a big shopping trip. Like, this could be the same thing. Like, if you're hiring smiths and getting people to do the work, you can interview them if you have an interest in doing that. It might be a cool way to introduce fun and interesting NPCs into the game for the DM, whether they do the interview process or not. They're still probably going to interact with the players at some point or another. You're going to have that going on, as well as later on, these could be plot hooks if these NPCs have problems and the players, they need the players' help.
You also have the ability to have a little bit of fun with this. Is like the players get to use their brains and their skill rolls if need be when discussing with these NPCs. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to bring in a dwarven smith, and I'm going to bring in a gnomish smith, and I'm going to bring in a human smith, and we're going to have conversations, and we're going to see what they can actually make. And maybe one of them is really good, and like they try to pawn off somebody's work, or maybe someone is like, oh, I'm horrible, but I need the job now, so I'll beat some metal around, I'll steal this thing from this other guy, turn this in and say, hey, this is what I made, and try to get the job, and get that two gold a day for a week, and then cut and run with my my 10 gold or 20 gold and call it a day.
So you can create these like interesting and fun role-playing scenarios by doing this. So I like it when the players have goals, and there is a ton of adventures that can come from this after they finally get the tavern. It's like they get the tavern and they have the smith attached to it, and well, what happens when all the beer goes bad and they have to figure out the problem, because now they have all these angry patrons. The servers are like barking at them, as well as the bartender and the cooks, because they can't use the stuff that they have, and everyone's giving them a hard time, and they're going to give them a hard time. So,
or maybe they get booze from some random person, and they wind up finding out that it's a booze ooze instead, and now the patients are even angrier because the booze is actually attacking them.
Right. Or what if there's an ore shortage? Like, the metal's not coming anymore. How can your smith without metal? So like you can use this to create all these little adventure hooks and plot hooks that your players are probably going to bite on, because it's going to involve them. Like, they wanted the tavern, they wanted the blacksmith.
It's something they care about.
It's something they care about. The blacksmith didn't show up for work today. What happened? So you can have a lot of fun with this, and it creates this home base scenario too. So your players are going to always come back to this place more than likely. That's really useful.
It's going to be home.
It's going to be home.
So now there's the other side of the coin, and that's the actual building itself. Now, there's been times that I've seen in games, or that I've been involved in, where somebody says, I want to make a thing, or I want to do a thing, and it's going to cost X. Okay, well, I start saving up. Well, over the course of time, I save up, but events unfold, and you wind up essentially falling into not the money, but the thing that you actually wanted. Oh, here's the deed to the land that you wanted to use, and that was a quest reward. And oh, well, you did that favor for this family of carpenters. They're gonna build the thing for you just because you saved their lives. So like these little pieces can work together. That as opposed to actually having it. Oh, I earned gold. I'll pay the gold and I get the thing. The stuff starts happening for them because they're doing these other quests.
It could be, or they could be quests. Like, you got to go look at real estate, right? Like, you're looking at buildings that are already built and you're just going to renovate one or use it as is, or you're going to have it built. So, like, this could be part of the game, if you want it to be. Or, you know what, you want a particular carpenter, and in your world, halflings are the best woodworkers. So you want the best to work on it. So you have to go over to this halfling town and convince one to come to your town and build your tavern. Or, maybe it's going to be made of stone, and only dwarves are worthy of having do any masonry work for you. So you have to go to the dwarven kingdom and convince one of the dwarves, but he will not work for you unless you can beat him in a drinking contest. Or you could do a lot of fun things that could lead up to adventures just to get the people you want to work or build this place for you. And then from there, it's just gonna be a stream of adventure and plot hooks that can come through you. If you got a tavern or an interesting, fun people are gonna come through there. They might be quest givers. They might need help. They might be rowdies that have to be thrown out. That someone might steal your secret brewery recipe and you might have to go get it back.
Now, Benjamin happened to say that he couldn't find the information to actually figure out what it costs to own land or build buildings. He wants to build a smithy, he wants to make a tavern. So you're going to have your food costs. You're going to need all of your proper tools, and that's in the player's handbook. In that equipment section, in that same purchasing section, I think it's page 159, you have the rules for skilled and unskilled hirelings. So it doesn't matter whether you're talking a soldier, whether you're talking a smith. It's 2 copper a day or 2 gold a day, depending upon what you're looking at.
And you can look at Xanathar's guide for the tool sections to really, if you really want to know more specifics, you get information there as well.
But if you turn to page 128 of your Dungeon Master's Guide, there's a whole section on strongholds. It's got abbeys, guild halls, towns, cities, keep or small castle, noble estate with manor, outpost or fort, palace or large castle, temple, fortified tower, trading post. So, looking at wanting to build a smithy with a tavern attached to it, to me that looks like you're talking about a guild hall or a trading post. That takes 60 days and it costs 5,000 gold.
Yeah, so that's easy enough to do, and it's just a matter, all right, do they have enough gold yet? And again, it can be as easy or complicated as you want it to be as the GM. And if they seem like they're really into it, then I might be it's not so much you want to make it harder for them, but you want them to really go out and find people and really get vested in the pursuit of it. If you think that's something your group would enjoy, and you could do regular adventures on the way and random encounters and oh, you're going to the next town and, no bandits that happen to attack you on the road. So you can still do the regular D&D stuff, in between when they're doing. But it's the reason why they're going places and doing things is because they have this goal they're trying to accomplish. It's not a traditional D&D goal per se, but it could be a lot of fun.
I wholeheartedly agree. So the question is, what do you guys think? How would you handle this adventuring party's request? Have you done stuff like this in your games? Either way, you can talk down in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over at nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.